Welcome back to Central News. Each year, the Department of Conservation and the Waikato Regional Council jointly sponsor the Dr. Stella Francis Scholarship to students in the final year of a master's degree at the University of Waikato, up to the value of $5,000. The scholarship is available to those studying environment issues in the Waikato region. Waikato Regional Council's Manager of Land and Water Initiative Group, Tony Petch, tells Central News more about this scholarship.
This scholarship is the Stella Francis Scholarship, and it's to commemorate Dr. Stella Francis and her work as a regional councillor, as a conservator and as an environmental advocate.
Where does it originate from?
Well, it originates from the Waikato Regional Council and the Department of Conservation. And she was an important contributor to both those organisations, and both the Regional Council and the Department of Conservation thought it would be a fitting tribute to commemorate her life and advocacy for the environment.
How has Dr. Stella Francis contributed to the region?
Well, as a regional councillor, she was intensely passionate about the environment and the community. And as a conservator later, after she left the regional council, she maintained an interest in conservation, and most latterly, before she died, she was very interested in the marine environment, particularly in the Firth of Thames.
How is the scholarship a way of Stella giving back to the community?
Oh, in several ways, but most importantly about a passion for the environment, the ability to work well with communities and help their interest in some of these special places that we often forget about and pass by so quickly as we on our daily rush. She had a strong connection with Maori and their role as kaitiaki, and so this is a way of remembering the work that Stella did for us and for the Waikato community.
What can students learn from Dr. Stella Francis as they finish up their studies and head into the workforce?
Well, I think there's three things. First off is a passion in what they do and an interest in their studies. Second would be an ability to communicate about their project and what excites them, and thirdly, working within the community, because those three things are essential if we're going to make a difference, and that's what Stella did.
The scholarship is awarded to those in their final year of their Masters in Environmental Studies. What's required of them when applying? Okay,
so there's a range of criteria, and there's a range of types of work that are eligible. So if we just focus on the types of work that are eligible at the moment, we're interested in students who are working in natural sciences, so for example land or water or biodiversity or marine sciences. We're also interested in students who have got an interest in how we as humans interact with the environment, things like how do we feel about the environment, what are our environmental attitudes and awareness. So there's that aspect. Kaitiaki is important as well. The next thing we're interested in is how we value our environment. For example, what's the value of a functioning forest? You know, we think about the value of roads and the value of our economy, but our natural processes also have a value, so we're interested in that. And finally, there's an important role of technology in managing the environment. So for example, remote sensing or managing our information spatially, and using those technologies. So those are the four main themes that we're interested in.
And what do you really look for in a student to be able to award them a scholarship?
Well, it's interesting you asked that, because actually many of the things that Stella brought to her job as a regional councillor and to a conservator, first off, the passion that they have for the project that they're proposing. Second, their ability to communicate it in a meaningful way, and their ability to show the relevance of the work that they're doing to the wider environment and to the Waikato. And then that usually people who exhibit those types of traits are also very good students. So, you know, academic ability is important, and as well tenacity to get through to the end of the project. But it's about passion and commitment and communication.
And how else was Stella a role model for these students?
I think if I were to place one thing, it was her ability to connect with people and to connect with communities and to be able to tell a story about what was important to her and what was so special about some of our special places.
And can you tell us about some of the past proposals that you've had?
Sure. We've had some relating to soil and carbon and how soil carbon's important in helping manage greenhouse gases and global warming. That was a particularly interesting one. We've had some about biodiversity. We've also had some about indigenous fisheries and how they function and what are the stresses on that. So, there's a range of exciting projects. But I think one of the real exciting things for the counsellors and the conservators when the students come in to receive their award is just the sheer excitement of being recognised and being able to contribute. And of course, they also, when they've finished their studies, come back and tell the Council and the Department of Conservation about what they've done. And so that's another learning opportunity and one that they often relish.
If you'd like to apply for the scholarship, head to waikatoregion.govt.nz to print off an application form or pop into the Council on Grey Street. Well, that is all for today. Central News is online and we really want viewers to be involved, so like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Leave us a comment or you can also email us via the website or direct. Thanks for joining us today. I'll be back tomorrow with more guests from in and around the region. I'm Katrina McKinley. Have a lovely evening.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.